Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. So some of you may know that I was the president of the Mississauga Arts Council, and one of the things that I really prided myself on is finding, unbelievably interesting talents, because we've got incredible talents here in the Peel region in the Greater Toronto area. And I ran across someone who is just adorable and unbelievably talented. Her name is Ali Hornsby, and she started out as a figure skater in Mississauga, Meadowvale, and then she became a professional figure skater doing ice shows around the world, and then she became, get this, a circus performer. Who's ever wanted to meet a circus performer? Who has ever wanted to join the circus? I have. Ali Hornsby, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well.
Good.
So you became a circus performer.
I did. I ran away with the circus.
Fantastic.
It wasn't a joke.
Tell us the story. How did it all happen?
Well, I guess circus art started through figure skating.
Yep.
I got really lucky. I grew up as a figure skater, competed up until I was about 19, was lucky enough to get into a professional performing show, which took me further and further and deeper into the professional figure skating world. And on one of the long tours that I did out in Europe, they had a couple aerialists. And
what is an aerialist?
An aerialist are the, how do I explain that? Aerial dancers, so sky dancers. They're people who, perform on, you'll see like a hoop or the silks. Those are very popular.
The silks are these long
silks,
things that look like draperies.
Yes,
Okay.
They're very pretty, different color fabric. But those are the most common ones you'll see. But there are different apparatuses that tons of people perform on, and they're all aerialists.
And I saw you on a trapeze as well.
Yes, flying trapeze.
Flying trapeze.
That's so much fun. It's like
What's
Batman and Robin. Well, Robin.
Are you like the one that catches or the one that gets caught, or like how did you?
I have caught before, which is really fun, especially when there's a guy who's a bit bigger than you on the other side going, "Are you gonna catch me?" And I go, "Yeah, don't worry, I gotcha." But I do prefer the flying part because you get to do the fun tricks and stuff.
And so you're swinging on a trapeze,
Yep.
and you let go, and you do some sort of a flip or a somersault, and someone catches you.
Yep, hopefully.
Unbelievable. Now, when you're training, how many times would you fall?
With flying trapeze, the rate of failure is, I would say, quite similar to figure skating. You're going to fall on your jumps. You're going to fall in the net. That's kind of how you learn. Thankfully, in the aerial arts, the rate of failure is very minimal. You don't tend to fall.
Really?
But we do have safety mats underneath us when we're practicing things.
Okay, figure skating. Falling's got to hurt.
Oh, yeah. I don't figure skate as much as I used to. I still do, but I don't train the way I used to as a competitive skater. But I don't miss the bruises.
I saw also that you did some rollerblade figure skating.
Yeah.
Falling there must be really hard.
It's the worst because you don't slide. It's still the same hit, but you just don't get to go with the momentum. The momentum just stops.
So,
yeah.
This is fascinating. I've always dreamt of joining the circus. Like you're living my dream. So where have you been? Where have you gone? And tell us some of the shows.
Man. I've been really lucky. I've traveled to, I think, I counted once, 39 countries.
Yeah.
We got to go to Australia, New Zealand, a lot of Europe, been to Russia, South America, Egypt, and yeah, I've been really, really, really lucky. The show that took me to the most places was actually a show called Ice Age on Ice, or Ice Age Live, and it's the Ice Age characters from the movie.
Okay.
With the mammoth and the squirrel and.
And who are you?
Thankfully, I was not one of the fluffy characters. No, thankfully not. They had other characters in the show that were kind of we were a fox at one point, and I was an icicle, and different add-ons to the show to kind of create the story.
Okay, figure skating.
Figure skating.
Okay.
And a little bit of aerials in that. I was a snowflake. So that was fun.
Doing the silks or what?
No, on a hoop. It was a hoop with snowflake spiky things coming out of it.
And when you're on the hoop, what are you doing on the hoop? I've seen in and out and around.
Oh yeah, splits, pretty things, different transitions, different tricks. Yeah. takes a lot.
And so tell us about some of the other performances, like in Moscow. What did you do in Moscow?
We performed Ice Age, so
Okay.
I was able to go to Moscow and
And
St.
in a big
Petersburg.
arena or what?
Yeah, huge arenas.
And how many people in the audience?
Oh man, I don't know. I do remember in Vienna,
Like
we
a
had,
professional
yes.
NHL type
Oh,
arena?
yes,
So like
yes.
15 or 20,000
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And how many people in the company?
How many? Oh man, we had, I would say there was 50, 60 skaters or performers
Yeah.
and
So it's a big
crew,
cast.
because we traveled with our crew and
Right.
everything. Yeah, we had about 6 or 7 big trucks that everything would go into, and then next city everything came
And
out.
how would you travel? Would you fly or take a bus or what?
Depended on
How
the
far?
country. Yeah, how far? Just different things. I remember in Australia, I think we flew to every because the driving was just not
It's a
worth
big continent. People don't realize how
But
big
then in
Australia
Europe,
is.
we drove a lot. We took buses.
Yeah.
So
And Egypt, what did you do in Egypt?
Egypt was really cool. Egypt was one of my favorite places. We did Ice Age as well. That show took me, like I said, to almost everywhere I went.
Yep.
And we were there for about a week and a half. We were invited by the Travel and Tourism Board of Egypt. They were trying to promote the safety of coming to Egypt and what there was to see and everything. So
Yeah.
we were taken quite good care of. It was one of my favorite places.
Fantastic.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
So you've traveled the world at a fairly young age.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What do your parents think about you joining the circus?
They love it. I think my dad's a little more excited with like the cool stuff. My mom's a little more nervous of the cool stuff. She's a little more like, I don't need to see it as long as you didn't fall, be careful. And she liked the skating thing because it was bumps and bruises, but there was no,
Cracked ribs.
immediate, yeah, exactly, or falling from high things. So yeah, I think they like it though. They've gotten more used to the idea and they've seen that I can make it a career.
Yeah.
And they've been supportive the entire time.
How do you
They're
make it a career? By just getting lots of gigs? Do you have to join one of these, like do you have to join Cirque du Soleil or something like that to make it a career?
No, I think I don't. It's you have to be. You have to know that that's what you want, and you have to go for it 100%.
How do you know that being part of a circus is what you want?
I think you just know, and that's hard to say. Maybe I didn't know until I joined shows, and then when I joined shows, I knew that performing life was
When
meant
you were
for
a
me.
teenage girl, did you ever dream of being part of a circus?
It's funny, I saw circus and Cirque Du Soleil and things like that, and I thought it was really cool, but because I was in skating, I hadn't grown up doing it. I just assumed it wasn't
Something you could do.
in my cards. Yeah.
Right.
So to be able to do it is, yeah.
So
it's
when was
cool.
the first time you actually did an aerial performance or tried it and said it is in my cards?
Yeah, that was in 2011. I was auditioned by the Aerialists on the skating show that I traveled with in Europe. And they needed understudies.
You should give this a try?
Yeah, they needed understudies, and so a bunch of us kind of auditioned within the cast, and I think they found the people that had the most upper body strength, that had the least fear of being lifted into the air and different things like that. And I was really lucky. I got picked to be the understudy of the female aerialist.
You mentioned upper body strength. What kind of conditioning do you have to do?
Oh my gosh, a lot.
Like what?
I would say.
You doing weights or?
I do. No, it's funny. I do a lot of calisthenic type training, pull-ups. I do a lot of handstands.
You do a lot of handstands?
A lot of handstands. Handstands, it's fun. They're frustrating, but they are a great workout.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Amazing. Because it takes every single muscle in your body has to be active while you're in a handstand. You can't. It's not just your arms. Every muscle in your body is making sure that you don't fall over in some direction.
So pull-ups and handstands.
Not just, but those are two of, I would say, my favorite.
Okay, give me some other suggestions.
Climbing a rope.
Yep.
We do this one called Skin the Cat.
Yep.
So that's when you pull up and you pull up through your body and you go all the way through and you come all the way back. Leg lifts. Those are
What
more
are
for
leg lifts?
ab, but it's when you're hanging from a bar and you have to bring your toes straight up to the bar, straight. Bunch of those. There's tons, and yeah, I definitely think. I mean, weights can help.
Yep.
But what we have a body, we might as well use it as
I love the idea
its
of a
own
handstand.
workout.
I'm going to do a handstand.
There you go,
I'm
do a
gonna-
handstand. You
We're
start with
chatting
the wall.
tonight with Ali Hornsby, who is a ice dancer, figure skater that's turned into a circus performer. And, you know, I've always dreamt of joining the circus, so it's just fascinating for me to chat with her. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more with Ali and find out what her life is like in just a minute. Stay with us.
ओंटारियो का कोविड-19 प्लान फैलाव को रोकने और जिंदगियां बचाने में मदद फराहम कर रहा है। जब तक हम सबको वैक्सीन नहीं लग जाती, मास्क पहनें, अपने हाथ धोएं और फासला रखें। हम अब तक इकट्ठे चलते रहे हैं और पूरे ओंटारियो में रोजाना हजारों लोग वैक्सीन लगवा रहे हैं। आपकी बारी जल्द आने वाली है। ओंटारियो के वैक्सीन प्लान के बारे में मजीद जानें। अदायगी शुदा मिन जानिब हुकूमत ओंटारियो।
मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, मेरा रोशन, रोशन। भाग भाग के करता था वो सारे घर के काम, रोशन से रोशन था घर वालों का नाम। रोशन दिलवा दो गाड़ी का लोन, रोशन भर दो इन्वेस्टमेंट का फॉर्म। नहीं थी इसको कोई टेंशन, फिर क्या हुआ? फिर रोशन चला गया अब्रॉड, लग गया सब कामों को स्टॉप।
बेटा, जब से तुम बाहर गए हो सब काम रुक से गए हैं।
अम्मी, दूसरे मुल्क आया हूँ, लेकिन हमारे पास रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट है ना।
क्योंकि बैंक ऑफ पंजाब लाया पाकिस्तान का पहला मुकम्मल फ्री रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट, जिससे आपको मिले मोबाइल ऐप, दुनिया भर में डेबिट कार्ड की फ्री डिलीवरी और बिना चार्जेस के इस्तेमाल की सहूलत, नया पाकिस्तान सर्टिफिकेट, स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्टमेंट का मौका, ऑटो लोन और ऑनलाइन यूटिलिटी बिल्स जैसी बेशुमार सहूलियात। अभी www.bop.com.pk पर ऑनलाइन रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट फॉर्म फिल कीजिए और पाइए एक्सीलेंस यूनिट के जरिए 24 घंटे डेडिकेटेड सर्विसेज, ताकि आप अपनों से रहें दूर रहकर भी पार। बैंक ऑफ पंजाब, रखे हर फर्द का ख्याल।
Century 21 Kingdom Realty. We take delight in helping people succeed whether they are our clients or agents. Worldwide recognized brand, game-changing technology, state-of-the-art marketing, industry-leading training, stunning office, great location, great commission splits, first access to pre-construction projects.
If you want to be even more successful in your real estate career, join the Century 21 Kingdom Realty.
To join our team, call 416-560-9559 or visit our website www.jointhekingdom.ca. Century 21 Kingdom Realty, 1099 Kingston Road, Pickering, Unit Number 2, Ontario.
Here's to the people, pioneers searching for better, ambitious fortune seekers in strange new places. They're the inspiration behind Zoom, the fast and secure money transfer app from PayPal.
Buying or selling a residential or commercial property is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make in their life. The real estate lawyers at Alam Law Chambers will guide you through the complete real estate laws to ensure your transaction completes on time and your dreams come true. Reliable and affordable. Alam Law.
Was your family or business prepared for this financial crisis? Want to learn how I prepare my clients with the essential financial planning pyramid for any financial crisis come their way? Hello, this is Zahid Sayed from Roj Financial. For your complimentary Zoom or Skype meeting, call my office at 905-624-0008 or visit aroojfinancial.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on the Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. A real pleasure of mine to introduce you tonight to Ali Hornsby, who is a figure skater, a professional figure skater. She's traveled the world. I think you said 39 countries performing as a figure skater. And they wanted to audition her as a aerialist. And she did it, she did well, and she's now become a circus performer. And what an incredibly interesting story for someone from Meadowvale, Mississauga. Yeah. And you just started out figure skating. Was your mom like a figure skater and encouraged you to skate, like all these little girls that are out there skating?
Yeah, I think it was that whole, you teach your kids how to skate, just like you kind of teach them how to swim so they know how to do all these things and they can kind of choose their way. I think my parents put me in, I think they put me in like gymnastics, which I didn't do well, but do well now. Figure skating, soccer, kind of all the different things to kind of, get an idea of what I was into.
So were you a huge athlete in high school and teenage years?
Yeah, I mean, with figure skating, it was mainly, I'd leave high school a little bit early every day.
Now, figure skaters usually have big thighs, lots of strength.
Yes,
do you have lots of strength?
I would say I still have strong legs, but it's kind of having to lift yourself up in the air. It's not so easy when your bottom half is really heavy, so that's kind of
evened out?
Evened out a little bit, yeah. You kind of got to make it even, right? If you want to still do both. So.
And then you started to get into competitions. And tell me about the competitions.
Yeah, so I competed, oh my gosh, I think my first competition was when I was like 7. And then, my last competition was, I think when I was about 18.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really my thing. I started, when you're young, it was fun. And then it gets to a point where you start, I don't want to say you start caring about it. And some people are really good at that. Some people are really good under that pressure.
Right.
But I think knowing that I was going to be told
and what's the biggest competition
compared,
that you've been in?
I used to do synchronized skating.
Okay.
And we were able to travel to Italy and do an international competition out there.
Fantastic.
So that was really fun. That was probably the biggest. I didn't go very far in competitive skating. I wasn't.
So why did you then get into the performance?
I auditioned. There was an audition for actually Canada's Wonderland. They did a show for 5 years back in 2007. And I auditioned kind of just thinking, it'd be fun to have a skating job, not really knowing how big the professional skating world was and what it would bring me. And I was lucky enough to get into that. And that just expanded, I saw what was possible. Because you don't know about the shows out in Europe until you're kind of in that world.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of skaters that are competing know of all the professional opportunities that are out there, other than maybe Disney on Ice. So there's many more than just Disney on Ice.
Disney on Ice.
Yeah.
And so you're still skating, and you also are this circus performer, aerialist. What percentage of your performances in the last couple of years have been one versus the other?
I would say my
are you more an aerialist or more?
I would say I'm more on the aerialist side. At the moment, it's in my skating career, I've definitely, I would say I feel fulfilled. I still want to do it and I still want to perform with it, but I have done so much in that department that I want to put most of my energy in the aerialist circus world.
What's the most challenging jump that you've done as a figure skater?
That I landed, probably the double axel.
And what is a double axel?
A double axel is a jump that you take off from a forward edge and you land backwards, so you spin in the air 2.5 times.
2.5 times.
2.5 times.
And what's the most difficult jump of all time?
Oh, we got the quads.
The quads.
All the guys and the girls are doing quads now.
You were doing 2.5.
Yeah.
And some people do 4.
Yeah. It's very impressive. It's the level that competitive skating is at now is
pretty
unreal.
Impressive.
Unreal.
Okay, so now you're an aerialist, and you do the silks, you do the hoops,
the hoop, yep,
and you do trapeze.
Yep.
Is there anything else an aerialist does?
And that's the thing, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. Some people enjoy the hoop more than the silks or the rope. I actually do rope more than I do silks, just because it's a little different, which is just a rope. Just a rope, but there you can tie yourself up and do different drops and things. Same with silks.
Well, and you showed me something where you were climbing a rope with what? Just
my toes.
Just your toes?
Yep, just my toes.
Just your toes?
Well, my toes and my hands.
Yep.
You have to, but yes, just using the toe to kind of, a toe climb.
A toe climb.
Toe climb. Pretty basic.
So, like, you know, like, you're traveling the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you date?
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Very
It's tricky when you're home, because you know that you're probably not home for the long haul. And then when you're traveling, you know, you might be going the same direction, you might not. So it's tricky. It's been tricky.
So can you do this the rest of your life, or no, you're going to give it up and settle in Meadowvale at some point in time? Or is that, no, you caught the bug, you're going to travel forever?
I definitely think traveling will be something I do forever. At some point, I can imagine I'll maybe stay in one place. I don't even want to say forever, because who knows? Maybe another opportunity comes up somewhere else for coaching once I've kind of retired from the performing side. I still want to have something to do with the performing world. Even if I'm not the one on stage, I definitely see myself sticking around either coaching or, well, coaching in some way, but maybe other things too.
What's the ultimate? Is it Cirque du Soleil, or is it...
I definitely think Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil is that like big golden dream. So.
And they have like permanent shows in Vegas, so that if you got on that, you could have like a relationship.
You could have a place. Yeah, exactly. And they've got skating shows now too.
So have you auditioned for that, or?
Yeah, working on it. It's one of those. Every time someone finds out that I'm a figure skater and an aerialist, they go, "Oh, well, why aren't you on Cirque?" And they don't have that exact profile of a performer yet. They don't have someone doing specifically aerials and the two combined, because that's my thing. Yep. Is combining the two. They don't have that yet. Right now, they have a lot of circus artists in shoes and skaters in skates. They've combined some things, but not that one thing yet. So I'm just prepping myself, and hopefully when they're looking for that, they look my way.
Fantastic. What an incredible life that you've created for yourself.
Thank you.
You know, so many people are trying to find their passion and what excites them, and it's obvious from your attitude that this is something you're unbelievably passionate about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's hard, because it's not you don't always know what's next. Especially, there's no givens. Yeah. You're on contracts and different things, so you never know what's next. But I think it's worth it in the end, because I don't think I'd be this happy.
Has COVID been hard?
Somewhere else. COVID's been really difficult.
So it shut a lot of the performances down, I imagine?
Completely, almost completely. I've done a little bit of online performances, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
When do you think it's going to start up again?
I'm hoping, I think it'll slowly start up this summer. I'm hoping we'll get little gigs here and there, especially with the ability to be outside. Maybe there will be some outdoor events that we can perform in. But yes, I'm hoping like winter, Christmas will be
after
big.
The Spanish flu in the 1920s, as we were chatting about before, the era of Great Gatsby was born, and we had speakeasies, we had a lot of dry areas became wet, got rid of prohibition, we had a 9-year bull market, and we had massive parties. Yeah. So that will be good for you.
I hope so.
And you are in a performance called Gatsby.
Oh yes, I'm going to be taking part in a party like Gatsby next year. It was supposed to be this year, but because of COVID, it got moved to next year. So cross fingers we get there.
Ali, if some young girl or guy is listening to the show tonight and says, "I want to be a circus performer," what do you recommend that they do?
Google circus arts in Toronto. It's funny because almost no one really ever thinks, I think, where circus artists come from, but there's a huge community of circus artists, and you can take circus classes, you can learn how to climb the silks, you can learn how to do the hoop, you can learn how to do flying trapeze. I work and coach and train at all of these different places, so I know that there's tons out there. So just get online and start looking.
When you do the next big performance in Toronto, please let me know, because I want to come and watch you and give you a standing ovation.
Thanks.
You're just adorable, and I think you're going to be a huge success.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Ali Hornsby, a circus performer, has shared with you the life of joining the circus and traveling the world. Sounds kind of fun. Thanks for joining us. This is the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good night, everybody.